Welcome aboard. It's Captain G. We're back with Winter War. This is turn 5, Finland's go. So the Finns bought all infantry except one artillery and one AA to make sure that they didn't leave any factories exposed like the Russians did. The Russians moved. This was obviously my mistake, but I moved my anti-air up to protect the new factory, but I didn't build a new anti-air. And the Finnish bombers took advantage of that and set off to cause, I think that was 7 damage altogether, 4 and a 3 for the 2 die rolls. So that's going to hurt the Russians. Other combat moves, they came down here with anti-tank infantry that attack at 1, a tank, and 1 fighter to make sure that they got a hit. And they took out this guy before he could reach the victory city down here. They also went into Lapland, secured that with air support and some skiers. So they've reconnected the north with their factory, but these guys don't defend well, so we'll see what kind of counterattack. They couldn't send in a lot of infantry with them because there weren't that many to begin with, and they built 3 new ones, but there's a lot of Russians here and a lot of Russian air, and I don't want to lose this factory. So this is a tense situation in the north. In the center, this was an all-out push by the Finns. Took out the tripwire infantry that were set here on the border. Took both of them out. Altogether in these battles, the Russians lost, I think, 5 infantry altogether and only 1 Finnish casualty because the combat was over in 1 round. So now you have these tanks on the Russian side of the border where there are better roads, and you have Finn ski troops, so they can move 2. So they can, this force right here could hit this factory zone. They threaten these zones. They could put pressure on this factory. So now this Russian force, which Finnish intelligence had suspected were making a left hook to come around and attack this zone from behind the fortifications, so they don't get to enact the fortifications. So no attacks from this zone, but these tanks moving 1, 2, attacking from the east, these guys coming down from the north, and then these forces. Suddenly, that maneuver is in question. Can the Russians pull that off with this force here threatening to take out these victory cities, take this factory, possibly blitz into more zones, even threaten this factory in the north? Sorry, it was off camera. So there's a lot now that left brain, I don't know, left brain of the Russians, right brain is Finland. But there's a lot that the Russians have to think about, which is one thing. I was texting back and forth with Anders. He was kind enough to reach out to me, and as I said, he's watching this game and providing some feedback. And I shared with him one of the things I'm really enjoying about this game is at the end of the Russian turn, I'm convinced the Russians are going to win. And at the end of the Finnish turn, I'm convinced the Finns are going to win. The game is back and forth, very well balanced, a lot of fun. And I just can't wait to play this in a 2-player game. So if anyone gets this game, message me, let me know after you receive it. I'd love to play a YouTube war with this game against another opponent, so I can have a strategy and that I don't already know is in the works in playing the 2 sides. So anyway, back to the video. So we'll see. I don't even know what this is going to do. This was the Russian strategy, and I didn't speak it out loud because I didn't want the Finns to find out, but they have spies everywhere. So I'm not sure now what's going to happen. I cannot let this big force. The most lethal things are these fast movers, these ski troops and tanks. Plus, you have still a very large air force for Finland. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They can hit a variety of spaces. Even the fighters can get in there and cause a lot of damage. So that's a lot of offensive power. So that's where the Finns pushed. They moved up to now 30 industrial coinage, IC. Down here they did move a cruiser back to be with this transport to escort it so they can continue to support the north. It was a dilemma picking a naval unit. Obviously, I got to leave the big guns down here for movement of the fleet. If I move the destroyer, then I'm putting my fleet at risk because of its capabilities against the sub. So I needed the destroyer here paired with the battleship to counter the sub. So that left only the transport because the subs can't escort the transport against air. So the cruiser and the transport are going up, which leaves this force feeling vulnerable. But I don't want to invest in Finnish Navy. So I think this is a time for the Russian Navy to flex and possibly close this supply line entirely. These coastal guns only get to fire if there's an amphibious assault. So they can transit it. Again, one zone at a time because of the ice on the water for the surface units. So we'll see what happens. The Danish reinforcements arrived. They came in here. So these guys are the Danish reinforcements. That allowed the Finns to not have to send anyone down. They were able to move forces and shuck them over to reinforce these territories, seeing the left hook while they're doing a spoiler attack in the center. So turn 6 is next. I'll add the casualties to the growing list here, keeping track of both sides hits, and I will have to now add damage on the Russian side once they pay off their factory. 7 industrial coinage. This is Captain G, over and out.